with pain your spirit soars and sings, though sorrow clouds your day, it's sunny skies tomorrow brings. And take my hand, let's be friends forever. And take my hand, alone no more, not ever. Imagine dreams are real, and soon you'll start to feel there's magic all around. And take my hand, love is all
Pardon me, Anne.
Yes, Matthew?
I was just wondering whether you remembered to pack everything you thought you might need.
I believe I did, but one always finds out what was forgotten when it is far too late.
Yes, that's very true.
Matthew, is anything the matter?
Well, no, not really. I was merely wondering whether you'd still be coming home to visit during the holidays.
Really, Matthew, how could you even consider that I'd stay away from home?
Yes, I suppose you're right. It was very silly of me. You know, this makes me think back to the very first time I had to drive you somewhere in the buggy. I had to pick you up from the station, and I was quite nervous when I took you to Green Gables.
Yes, I remember. You were expecting a boy, but it was only me. And all the way to the farm, I was sure there had been a terrible mistake somewhere.
You're the best mistake that ever happened to us, Anne. Believe me, the best mistake ever.
Thank you.
Hurry up!
Have you ever had an ice cream?
Me? Never.
Then I think it's time we had one together. There you are. And?
It would be nice if it weren't so cold.
Matthew.
Is it my imagination, or have you really grown a bit since I saw you last? Good day, Mr. Cuthbert, and welcome.
Oh, yes, thank you, Miss Barry. And thank you so much for your kindness.
Oh, but it's my pleasure. Please, let's all go into the house now. Tea is ready to be served. The lady who rents out the rooms to the young college students has an impeccable reputation, and I know her very well. Her husband is a former British officer, and everyone in town speaks very highly of his good character. Together, they are very mindful of the girls they allow to lodge with them. You know, Anne, if it were up to me, my dear, I would have taken you in myself, but unfortunately, I really don't feel that would be the best for you.
Really?
Yes, I live too far away, Anne. You'd spend too much time travelling to and from classes every day. It'd be more convenient for you to live close to the college. So, here we are. Look, your room is up there, Anne.
Mr. Matthew Cuthbert, I presume. How do you do?
Yes. How do you do, sir?
And I'm the girl who will hopefully be staying with you.
How do you do? May I say that you make a fine impression, Mr. Cuthbert?
Miss Barry informed us that you scored the highest in your admission exam. It's important for me to point out what we expect of the students living in this house. All the girls living here and attending the college should set a good example to other students.
Oh, yes, that's most important.
Then we're agreed.
I assume you must be quite excited to see your new room. Let me show you.
Back at Green Gables, Marilla was feeling very lonely. Anne hadn't been gone long and she was already missing her terribly. Quietly, all on her own, Marilla sat in a corner and cried bitterly. This was quite contrary to her nature, so she decided to immerse herself in her work. She scrubbed and cleaned the house from top to bottom, trying her best not to think about Anne too much.
Oh, and who's that?
It's Miss Stacy. She's my teacher at home in Avonlea.
Ah, well, she isn't only a good teacher, she's also very pretty.
Oh, yes. If it weren't for her, none of us would have passed the admission exam. I believe Miss Stacy is actually our lucky star.
Ah, your lucky star, that sounds so nice. Well, my dear, the curtains are freshly washed, the bed looks fine, and your personal belongings have been unpacked. Now, I need to know if you are happy, Anne.
Yes, thank you. I have everything I may need.
Then I suppose we really should be getting back to Beechwood.
That's very kind of you, but
Matthew?
Oh, no, it's still too early to say goodbye. I'd like to invite you both to spend the night at my house. But I insist. We can't let Anne feel lonely on her first day, and when an old woman gets an idea in her head, no one can convince her otherwise. Well, then, are we agreed? Shall we leave for Beechwood together? Please, don't say no.
Yes. I'm sure Anne is grateful for your kind offer, but you'll have to excuse me. I'm sorry, Anne, but I can't stay here.
But, Mr. Cuthbert, even if you did leave now, you'd still only get home after dark.
I simply must go home. Tomorrow we start harvesting the fields. Besides, Marilla is probably waiting for me to get home and tell her where Anne is living. I really have to go.
I do understand, but I was hoping you could stay. That means the two of us will be alone tonight, Anne.
It was very late when Matthew arrived at Green Gables, but he could see it from afar because the lights were on. Marilla was still awake and waiting for him. She really was anxious to hear the news about Anne. She could feel how sad Matthew was, and she knew he had left someone behind in Charlottetown who meant more to him than anything in the world.
Would you please stop sulking and tell me, Matthew, did you thank Miss Barry properly?
What do you take me for, Marilla? Of course I thanked her properly. She was very kind.
That woman has been a blessing to us.
I suppose you're right.
Your tea's getting cold, Matthew.
Oh, what does it matter?
I understand how taxing this is for you, but I feel I must say something. I think you should be in bed.
Will we ever see her again?
That night, Marilla allowed her emotions to surface for the first time. She pulled the bedclothes over her head and cried into her pillow. She tried to forget that the little room in the roof was empty. She'd always been bothered by the untidiness of the room, but now she wished it all back.
I will always have fond memories of last night, Miss Barry. It was wonderful.
It was my pleasure, Anne. Please come and visit whenever you feel like it.
I will, thank you.
Anne!
Good morning, Anne. Good morning.
They're allocating classes today. Tell me, did they allow you to attend the special class?
Yes, but whether I like it or not, I have to master all the subjects and get excellent marks this year because I have to apply for a student bursary.
That shouldn't be too difficult.
Yes, you won't have any problems. By that, I'm not saying we won't have to work hard ourselves, but we don't have the same motivation as you do. I just find it sad that we won't be in the same class.
Gilbert Blythe is in the same special class too. How'll you get on with him?
Ruby, that's enough.
Well, she will just have to get used to him, or the two of you will argue forever. There's Josie, and she has a new companion.
Good morning. I know them from Avonlea. May I introduce you to Frank Stockley? He knows the campus well. When you get to a new place for the first time, it's a good idea to make new friends.
I would like to welcome you all to our beloved college. You have all passed your entrance exams with distinction.
There was a total of 50 students in the special class. 50 ambitious and hopeful young students. Anne didn't know any of them, except one, Gilbert Blythe. Yet she'd only to think of her past experiences with him to know that he would be of no help to her at all.
Oh dear, if only Jane or Ruby were here with me.
We insist that you should all be well-behaved and hard-working. Never be indifferent to your studies, because indifference is very
is so
harmful
strange.
to your future knowledge.
I feel like the cat that fell into the fish pond and knew that she didn't belong there. It would have been better if I had a friend. I wonder if there's anyone nice here. I promised Diana that our friendship would never be threatened by any other. But even if you have a best friend like Diana, you can always have a second best friend. I rather like her. She's pretty, and she looks cheerful too. That blonde girl sitting behind me is very beautiful. She's been looking out of the window since the lecturer came into the room. She seems to know a lot about daydreaming. But I suppose none of them have noticed me, and probably wouldn't want to be my friend.
When you think about it clearly, that you will not get the desired results from your studies if you don't make the committed effort to master the work. At times you might feel slightly discouraged, and rightly so, because the task at hand is not easy. But believe me, hard work is always rewarded. Not only will you gain a vast amount of invaluable knowledge, but the best students among you will be awarded the Gold Medal for Excellence by Queen's College. And this medal may only be worn by students who take up the academic challenge and
Just
seek to
look at him
improve their
listening to
skills
the lecturer.
continually.
He must be thinking of winning that medal.
That's why I suggest you start studying today and not leave it till tomorrow.
At that moment, Anne felt herself sitting on a cloud, her heart as light as a feather. Whereas previously she'd been feeling lost and lonely, she now knew that she wasn't alone. Gilbert Blythe was there too. He presented the greatest challenge of her life. She would never allow that gold medal to go to Gilbert Blythe. She would be the best in her class, and especially better than Gilbert. Just the way it had always been when they were living in Avonlea.
Aunt Shirley, I'm back.
Good evening, Anne. You must be very tired, poor child. Don't worry, though. It happens to all my guests on the first day at college.
At least I'm still alive.
Supper is at 7.
Hello, I'm back, Miss Daisy.
The stars remind me of you far away. 1,000 sweet adventures we shared in days of carefree childhood. I dream of these, oh what joy it brings to me. But they dreams that no longer can be.
Diana.
Why must all of this delight me so? When I know that I can't go.
No, it's out of the question. I won't cry. It's really quite silly and a terrible waste of time.
Such pure delight. 'Twas real, all right, not just a dream.
Enough, Anne. I must find something funny to think about. It'll make me feel better. It's not working. I can't think of anything funny when it comes to Avonlea. I don't want to think of Avonlea now. This is ridiculous. Next Friday I'll be going home. But it feels as if Friday's only coming 100 years from now. No, I can't comfort myself. I don't even want to. How can I feel better when it's going so badly for me? Yes, come in. Oh, Josie, how kind of you to come and visit me.
I see. You've been crying, Anne. Are you feeling homesick?
A little.
It amazes me to see how few people can control themselves. I've decided not to let nostalgia get the better of me. And why not? I'm thoroughly enjoying the city life after living in boring old Avonlea. I keep asking myself how I could have survived in a place like that. And you, my dear Anne, shouldn't be crying about Avonlea either. Tears make your eyes and nose look red. And with hair like yours, you can hardly afford a red nose and eyes. Well, I must tell you, I got quite a surprise in my class today. Our teacher looks like a big fat duck. Say, you wouldn't by any chance have something to eat in your room? I'm starving. Just what I'm looking for. Yes, this will make me feel better. Marilla really made sure you had enough cookies. Don't ask me why, but somehow I knew you'd have something decent to eat. Of course, I went to the park with Frank Stockley today. There was a band playing. You must remember him. I introduced him to you this morning. He's a nice young man. He asked about you. He asked me, who's that, the girl with the red hair? And I told him you're actually an orphan, that you were adopted, and that no one really knows where you came from.
Josie, that's enough.
Oh, delicious. I think I'll have some more.
Maybe come in, Anne.
Ruby, how wonderful.
Oh, Anne, it feels like days since we last saw each other.
I'm so glad you came to visit.
Just look, our dearest Josie. Since this morning, Jane and Josie aren't speaking to each other.
I can't stay long. I have to go home and study Latin. It's my worst subject.
Just imagine, we have to translate 20 lines of Latin, and on our very first day, it's so unfair.
20 lines and I haven't even started yet. I'll have to buckle down as soon as I get home. Anne, it looks as if you've been crying. Look, there's a tear on one of your eyelashes. I actually feel so much better now. I thought I was the only one who cried. I was crying like a baby until Ruby came. Did you feel like that too?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now I don't feel so bad about being a crybaby anymore because I have a friend who's one too. 2 crybabies.
No, 3.
Oh, wait, I have something for you. Have some. Just look at them. Marilla baked them for me.
I can't resist
Go
having
on.
one.
Me neither.
Every crumb reminds me of home.
Anne, you're going to try and win the gold medal, aren't you?
Yes. I am. It might be easier for me to be here if I have a special girl.
It sounds wonderful. It should be easy for you.
Don't forget about Gilbert Blythe.
He's dangerous.
Oh, I nearly forgot to tell you something. Our wonderful Queen's College is eligible for the Avery Scholarship this year.
I've never heard of it.
Frank Stockley told me today. Frank's uncle is a member of the board. He told Frank the announcement would be made tomorrow.
Do you know what the scholarship is for?
But of course I know what it's for. The student, boy or girl, who has the highest marks at the end of the year in English and the history of literature wins the scholarship.
Yes, I've heard the winner gets $250 and can study at Redmond College for 4 years.
The famous Redmond College?
That's right. The scholarship is awarded every year thanks to a rich man from New Brunswick called Avery.
The famous Redmond College.
Anne's heart beat faster. She knew that this is what she wanted. She wanted to be the winner of the scholarship that would give her entry to Redmond College. She'd always wanted to become a teacher, but she had no desire to teach at a small village school. She wanted to teach at a good school, a big school with many pupils. It would be easy for her to make this dream come true if she could get a degree with distinction from Redmond College.
I can do it. I have to do it. I love English and I find the history of literature quite easy. In fact, I find it quite exciting. Marilla and Matthew would be so proud of me, although the thought of being away from them for another 4 years is quite unpleasant. And yet... How wonderful it is to have a clear goal in life. Just when you think what you have is all there is, new possibilities suddenly appear on the horizon. Life is so dull and colourless when one doesn't have goals in life. I must remember that.
That weekend, Anne went home to Green Gables as she'd promised. Matthew, Marilla, and Diana were waiting anxiously for her. They were all quite excited to see what surprise Matthew had in mind for Anne. But more about that next time.
Soft whispers on the breeze, the wood nymphs in the trees are calling out your name. They offer you their gifts, sweet fragrance fills the air. The magic of a moonlit night, a nightingale's song to share.